Some people wake up and drag yesterday into today. They carry yesterday's hurts, yesterday's mistakes, yesterday's doubts like heavy luggage into the fresh morning. But I tell you, why spoil a brand new day with old pain? Why waste the precious gift of morning with the poison of yesterday? Today deserves better from you. That is why you must learn to start your day positively, because when you command your morning, you command your life. When you set the tone in the early hours, you decide whether you'll walk into the world as a victim of circumstance or as the author of your own story. Stay with me, because if you grasp this truth and live it, your mornings will never again be ordinary, and your life will never again be small. When the morning arrives and your eyes open to the soft invitation of life, there is a sacred moment before the world makes its demands, before the phone lights up, before the noise of life comes rushing in. In that fragile space, you hold the power to choose the direction of your entire day. You may not control what storms come later, but in that moment, you can choose gratitude. And when gratitude is the first breath of your morning, everything else that follows bends in the direction of grace. Gratitude is not a casual whisper or a polite thank you. Gratitude is a shift of the heart. It is an awareness that says, I am alive, and that is miracle enough to begin with. So many people open their eyes and immediately count what is missing. They think of bills, of problems, of people who disappointed them, of work that feels heavy. They carry yesterday into today without realizing they are poisoning a brand new dawn. But gratitude interrupts that cycle. Gratitude declares that no matter what was lost yesterday, I still have something to honor today. Gratitude says the fact that my lungs fill with air, that my heart continues its steady beat, that my eyes can still behold the light, is a gift too great to ignore. If you want to start your day positively, learn to let your first thought be thank you. Before you worry, before you check your phone, before you allow the heaviness of the world to sit on your chest, whisper thank you. Thank you for this bed that held me through the night. Thank you for the roof that sheltered me. Thank you for the strength in my bones, the rhythm in my chest, the chance to do better, to love better, to live better than I did yesterday. Gratitude as your first breath is like laying gold in the foundation of your house. It holds everything else steady. Now, some may say, what if I have nothing to be grateful for? What if I wake up and all I see is struggle? But let me remind you, gratitude does not wait for perfection. Gratitude does not demand that life be flawless before it can be felt. Gratitude is the art of finding jewels in the dirt. Gratitude is looking at broken pieces and saying, even in this, there is something to honor. The truth is, if you opened your eyes this morning, you are already wealthier than the millions who did not. If you have water to drink, you are richer than those who thirst. If you have the ability to hear these words, you already possess a treasure. Gratitude is not about what is missing. It is about magnifying what is present. When gratitude comes first, it has the power to change not just your mood, but your vision. A grateful person sees opportunities where others see obstacles. A grateful person notices the beauty in ordinary places. A grateful person transforms a simple meal into a feast, a small house into a palace, a fleeting moment into eternity. Gratitude expands the heart so wide that negativity finds no room to stay. It is impossible to complain and give thanks at the same time. One will always silence the other. And if you choose gratitude, you silence complaint, you hush bitterness, you still envy, you choke out fear. Gratitude becomes a shield that guards your spirit. Imagine walking into your day with gratitude flowing through your veins. Suddenly, the traffic is not just an inconvenience. It becomes a moment to breathe, to listen to music, to pause. Suddenly, the workload is not just a burden. It becomes proof that your gifts are needed, that you are trusted with responsibility. Suddenly, the faces around you are not just people, they are lives with stories, struggles, dreams, and hearts beating as desperately as yours. Gratitude makes the ordinary extraordinary. It turns what others dismiss into what you treasure. And gratitude is not silent. Gratitude speaks, gratitude sings, gratitude spills out of the heart into the atmosphere. When you start your day with gratitude, you begin to treat others with more patience. You extend kindness more freely. You smile not because life is perfect, but because you chose to honor the gift of being here at all. Gratitude ripples outward. It never stays contained. You cannot hold true gratitude in your chest without it shaping the way you treat others. And what a blessing it is that one small choice in the morning could create a wave of kindness that reaches people you may never even meet. There is also something holy in choosing gratitude when life seems cruel. Anyone can be thankful when everything is easy, but when storms rise, gratitude becomes an anchor. It roots you in what remains instead of drowning you in what is gone. The person who wakes up in pain but still says, "I thank you for another breath," is practicing a power that no hardship can destroy. The soul that whispers "thank you" in the dark hallways of grief has discovered a strength that cannot be bought. Gratitude is not weakness, it is courage. It is declaring, "Life did not defeat me. I still see light, even in shadow." That is why gratitude as the first breath is not just a nice idea. It is survival. It is victory. It is the decision to start your day not as a beggar waiting for the world to give you joy, but as a king or queen who already walks in abundance. And this is the secret. Abundance does not come from what you hold in your hand. It comes from what you hold in your heart. You can lose much and still be rich if your heart is thankful. You can gain much and still be poor if your heart is bitter. Gratitude is the wealth of the soul. So when tomorrow greets you, do not rush into worry. Do not bow to stress. Do not drag yesterday's shadows into today's sunrise. Instead, pause, breathe, and let your first breath be gratitude. That one choice can set your day ablaze with joy, with peace, with strength. And once you have mastered that, you will find that no matter what comes, no matter how heavy the hours become, you began with light, and light has a way of carrying you through. When you wake in the morning and rise from your bed, the first voice you hear should not be the voice of doubt, nor the voice of fear, nor the echoes of the past that try to haunt you. The first voice you should hear is your own, speaking life into yourself. Because if you do not speak life into yourself, the world will waste no time speaking death into you. Every billboard, every news headline, every negative conversation, every doubt from another person will try to chip away at your spirit. And if you are not strong enough to declare who you are, the world will be quick to tell you who you are not. Words are powerful. They create worlds. A single word can heal, and a single word can destroy. Many people live their entire lives beneath the weight of words spoken over them as children. Words that said, "You are not good enough," "You will never succeed," "You are too much," or "You are not enough." Those words built cages in their minds, and they have been living in those cages ever since. But the same way words can build prisons, they can also build palaces. The same way words can trap you, words can also free you. That is why speaking life into yourself is not vanity, it is necessity. It is an act of liberation. You cannot wait for others to affirm you. You cannot build your worth on the shaky foundation of people's opinions. If you live by their approval, you will die by their rejection. That is why, before you open your door and step into the noise of the world, you must stand in the quiet and declare your truth. Tell yourself, "I am worthy, I am enough, I am powerful, I am capable." These words are not just sounds in the air. They are seeds planted in the soil of your spirit. And seeds, when planted daily, grow into unshakable trees. There will be days when you do not feel like speaking life. There will be mornings when your reflection in the mirror whispers lies, when your heart feels heavy, when your failures rise louder than your victories. On those days, it is even more important to speak life, because words have the power to outshout feelings. Feelings come and go, but words remain. When you speak strength into yourself in moments of weakness, you create a reserve of power that feelings cannot touch. You remind yourself that truth does not bend to mood. Consider this. When you tell yourself, I am capable, even in moments when fear is shouting that you are not, your body responds, your mind responds, your spirit begins to align with the command. Scientists tell us that our thoughts shape our biology, that our words influence our very chemistry. That means every positive declaration you speak is not just motivational, it is transformational. You are not simply reciting nice sentences, you are rewriting the script of your life. But notice this, speaking life is not arrogance. It is not about pretending you are flawless. Speaking life is about refusing to agree with the lies that try to shrink you. It is about choosing truth over doubt. It is about declaring light in the face of darkness. It is about saying, even if I stumble, I still rise. Even if I fail, I am still worthy. Even if I have scars, I am still beautiful. Speaking life is not about ignoring reality. It is about shaping reality with the power of faith and the persistence of hope. And here is something important. The words you say to yourself first thing in the morning build armor for the battles you cannot yet see. When criticism comes, when challenges appear, when setbacks try to knock you down, your positive declarations rise up inside you like a shield. The words you spoke in private become the strength you carry in public. And people will wonder why you do not break, why you do not bend, why you still smile under pressure. It is because long before the storm came, you prepared your soul with life-giving words. Have you noticed how quick people are to talk down to themselves? They call themselves stupid after a mistake. They call themselves ugly when they do not meet someone else's definition of beauty. They speak curses over themselves without even realizing it, and then they wonder why they walk through life heavy, unmotivated, hopeless. You cannot speak defeat into your own soul and expect to live victoriously. You cannot speak bitterness into your heart and expect sweetness to flow out. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. But out of the abundance of the mouth, the heart also learns. The cycle is never ending. That is why you must choose to interrupt it with life. Your voice is the one you hear most often, more than your parents, more than your friends, more than your teachers or colleagues. You hear yourself. And if your voice becomes your enemy, where will you run for refuge? But if your voice becomes your friend, your ally, your encourager, then no matter what others say, you will always have one voice speaking for you. And sometimes that one voice is enough to silence 1,000. Speak to yourself with tenderness. Tell yourself, I am proud of you, even for small victories. Tell yourself, I forgive you when you fall short. Tell yourself, I still believe in you when others doubt. Do not wait for the applause of the crowd, because crowds are fickle. Some will cheer for you today and mock you tomorrow. But when you learn to clap for yourself, you will never lack encouragement. The truth is, there is a child inside every one of us, still waiting to hear words we never received, still longing for affirmation that never came. And you, as the grown version of yourself, have the power to give that child what they missed. When you speak life into yourself, you are not just talking to who you are now. You are healing who you were then. You are rewriting the story, redeeming the silence, replacing the pain with power. So in the quiet of the morning when no one else is watching, lift your voice and bless yourself. Let your words carry strength. Let them carry love. Let them carry conviction. Tell your soul who you are before the world tries to decide it for you. Because the words you plant today will be the harvest you eat tomorrow. If you plant fear, you will reap limitation. If you plant doubt, you will reap hesitation. But if you plant life, you will reap abundance. Speak life and watch your days bloom into something far greater than you ever imagined. The first hour of your day is the soil from which everything else will grow. If you sow chaos into it, chaos will multiply. If you sow peace into it, peace will follow you. That first hour is not just time, it is sacred ground. Yet most people give it away carelessly. They wake up and place their hearts on the altar of distraction. They hand over their attention to their phones, to headlines filled with fear, to voices that drain instead of fill. They allow the outside world to set the tone of their inside world, and then they wonder why the day feels heavy before it has even begun. The truth is, your first hour is your kingdom. What you allow in rules you. If you allow noise, you will live scattered. If you allow intention, you will live focused. That is why you must guard it with the diligence of a watchman standing over treasure. It is treasure. It is the foundation of your day. And a foundation, once cracked, makes the whole house unsteady. Think of it this way. If you woke each morning and gave away the keys to your home to a stranger, you would be reckless. Yet every morning, people hand the keys of their mind to whatever distraction knocks first. They unlock the door to negativity, comparison, gossip, and let those strangers walk in and rearrange the furniture of their spirit. But you are wiser than that. You must learn to lock the door of your first hour and choose carefully who and what you allow to enter. Some may say, but I don't have time for myself in the morning. Life is too busy. But the truth is, you do not need hours, you need intention. Even 10 minutes of a guarded first hour can change the flavor of an entire day. 10 minutes of silence, of prayer, of journaling, of meditation, of movement. These small acts are seeds that grow into extraordinary strength. It is not about length, it is about quality. It is not about how early you rise, it is about what you rise to do. When you give away your first hour to mindless scrolling, you are telling your soul that distraction is more important than direction. When you give it away to worry, you are telling your heart that fear is more important than faith. But when you guard it and fill it with life-giving practices, you are telling the whole universe, I take this gift of a new day seriously. I respect this opportunity. I will not waste it. The first hour is the teacher that whispers to the rest of your hours. If you begin with focus, your day walks in focus. If you begin with gratitude, your day flows with gratitude. If you begin with negativity, your day drowns in negativity. It is not magic, it is rhythm. The rhythm you set in the morning becomes the song your whole day dances to. Ask yourself, who do you want to be today? Strong, peaceful, confident, loving? Then design your first hour to feed those qualities. If you want strength, move your body. If you want peace, sit in stillness. If you want confidence, speak affirmations. If you want love, start by forgiving yourself and blessing others in your thoughts. The first hour is a mirror that reflects who you are becoming. Guard it, for it shapes the person you step out into the world as. There will be temptations to break this habit. Your phone will call your name. Notifications will beg for attention. Urgency will disguise itself as importance. But you must remind yourself, not everything that screams is worthy of being heard. Not everything that flashes deserves your eyes. Guarding your first hour is an act of rebellion against a world that profits from your distraction. When you claim your attention, you reclaim your life. Guarding that hour is also an act of self-respect. You are telling yourself, I am worth this time. My peace is worth protecting. My spirit is worth nourishing. Too often, people give their best to their jobs, their families, their responsibilities, and leave nothing for themselves. They pour out all day long but never refill. The first hour is your chance to refill before the world begins to drink from your cup, and a cup that is empty cannot quench the thirst of others. Think of great builders, great leaders, great creators. Many of them understood the power of morning. They guarded their first hour like a treasure chest, filling it with study, reflection, planning, prayer, or creativity. They knew that you cannot step into greatness with a scattered mind. You must begin anchored. You must begin centered. You must begin with clarity. And here is the beauty. When you guard your first hour, you are not just protecting time. You are protecting energy. You are building a wall around your peace. You are telling yourself and the world that the noise can wait, the chaos can wait, the demands can wait. Because right now, in this sacred hour, you are aligning yourself with who you are meant to be. And when you step into the rest of your day, you carry that alignment like armor. Problems will come, but they will not shake you. Negativity will knock, but it will not enter. You will walk with purpose because you began with purpose. So the question is not whether you have a first hour. The question is, who owns it? Does it belong to you, or does it belong to distraction? Does it belong to intention, or does it belong to chaos? Every morning, the first hour knocks at your door and asks, "Who shall I serve today?" You must answer wisely. Guard it with strength. Guard it with love. Guard it with devotion. For in that hour lies the blueprint of your entire day, and in your day lies the shaping of your life. When you rise in the morning, your body carries the memory of sleep, muscles stiff from stillness, breath shallow from rest, energy waiting quietly for command. It is in that moment you are faced with a choice: to remain sluggish or to awaken not just your body, but your very spirit. Movement is the signal you send to yourself that says, "I am alive, I am ready. I will not waste this gift of a new day." When you move your body, you awaken a part of your spirit that words alone cannot touch. Too many people begin their mornings carrying yesterday's fatigue into today's promise. They shuffle through routines with heavy shoulders, aching backs, tired eyes. But the body is not simply a vessel you drag around. It is the instrument through which your spirit expresses its strength. And like any instrument, it must be tuned. Movement is that tuning. It wakes the mind, it clears the fog, it ignites the fire of energy that allows you to meet the day with vitality. You do not have to run marathons or climb mountains. Movement is not about perfection, it is about awakening. It could be stretching in the quiet of your room, feeling the tension release from your limbs. It could be a walk outside, letting the rhythm of your steps align with the rhythm of your breath. It could be dancing to a song that stirs joy inside you, shaking away the residue of sleep and yesterday's weight. However you choose to move, it is the declaration that you refuse to carry stiffness, that you refuse to begin your day in chains. The connection between body and spirit is undeniable. When your body is sluggish, your spirit feels small. When your body is alive, your spirit feels expansive. Have you ever noticed how after a walk, a stretch, or even a few deep breaths, the mind begins to open, ideas flow, burdens feel lighter, courage feels stronger? That is not coincidence. Your body is the temple that houses your spirit, and when you honor it with movement, you create space for the spirit to rise. Many of us underestimate how physical stillness can create emotional heaviness. When the body remains unmoved, energy stagnates, worry lingers, fear festers, doubt deepens. But with the simple act of moving, raising your arms toward the sky, breathing deeply into your lungs, bending and stretching, you break that stagnation. You tell your soul, "There is more life in me, and I will not let it be trapped." Movement becomes a form of prayer, a celebration of being alive, a reminder that you are not stuck. There is also power in understanding that movement is not just for the body's strength, but for the mind's resilience. People often separate the two, as though the body and mind live in different worlds. But when you push your body, when you stretch a little further, breathe a little deeper, hold a pose a little longer, you are training your mind to endure. You are teaching yourself discipline. You are reminding yourself that you are capable of more than comfort. And that lesson carries into the rest of your day. The same strength that allows you to finish those last few push-ups or to hold steady in silence will be the strength that carries you through hard conversations, long hours, and unexpected trials. Movement also reconnects you with joy. Watch children play, and you will see it clearly. Movement is laughter in motion. They run, they jump, they spin, not because they are told to, but because joy overflows in their bodies. Somewhere along the way, adults forget this. We grow rigid both in body and in heart. But if you allow yourself to move, if you allow yourself to dance in your kitchen, to sway as the music plays, to walk beneath the sky with arms swinging freely, you rediscover a joy that no circumstance can steal. Your body remembers how to celebrate, and your spirit rises with it. Even in moments of sorrow or heaviness, movement can be medicine. The grieving heart often feels stuck, as though trapped in a cage of sadness. But even gentle movement, a slow walk, a soft stretch, begins to remind the body and spirit that life is still here, that hope can still breathe, that healing is possible. Movement does not erase pain, but it opens a window for light to enter. And let us speak plainly. The world will hand you enough weight each day without you adding more by remaining stagnant. Stress will come, challenges will knock, negativity will try to attach itself. Movement is the way you shake it off before it takes root. It is your way of saying, I will not let the world control my energy. I will take ownership of how I feel, how I stand, how I rise. When you begin your morning with movement, you awaken courage. You awaken clarity. You awaken confidence. You remind yourself that you are not a passive participant in this life, but an active force. You are not simply carried by time. You are moving through it with strength. You do not have to wait for motivation to come to you. Movement creates motivation. The very act of starting awakens the desire to continue. And perhaps most beautifully, movement in the morning becomes a metaphor for your spirit. When you choose to rise, to stretch, to walk, to breathe deeply, you are declaring that you will not live small. You are declaring that you are willing to expand, to reach, to go beyond what feels comfortable. You are declaring that your spirit, like your body, was designed for motion, for progress, for growth. Stagnation may try to hold you, but life is not meant to be lived standing still. So let your mornings be alive with movement. Let your body become the alarm clock that wakes your spirit. Let your steps remind you that you are here, that you are capable, that you are ready. Do not underestimate the power of 10 minutes of movement to transform the way you carry yourself through hours of challenges. Do not overlook the sacred act of honoring your body, for in honoring it, you awaken the very spirit that will carry you into greatness. Each day arrives like a blank canvas, untouched and waiting. You hold the brush in your hand, yet many people wake up and begin splattering colors without thought, letting circumstances dictate what picture will form. They wander into the hours as though they have no say in the design of their day. But life responds to clarity. Life bends toward intention. To set your daily intention is to declare, before the world makes its demands, who you choose to be and how you choose to walk through your hours. Without intention, you drift. You become a boat without an anchor, tossed from one demand to another, from one mood to another, from one distraction to another. At the end of the day, you look back and wonder where the time went, why you feel empty, why so much was done, yet so little truly mattered. But with intention, you are no longer a boat drifting. You are a captain steering. You begin the day by setting a compass that keeps you from being lost no matter how strong the winds blow. Setting your intention is not about rigid plans. It is about purposeful direction. Plans can break, schedules can shift. Life rarely unfolds neatly, but intention is deeper. Intention is the spirit you carry into whatever comes. Intention is saying, no matter what happens today, I choose to respond with patience. Or, no matter what challenge comes, I choose to walk in courage. Or, no matter how busy the hours become, I will not forget to be kind. It is a conscious choice about the spirit you will embody, not just the tasks you will complete. Think of intention as planting seeds in the soil of your day. If you plant chaos, you will reap stress. If you plant bitterness, you will reap conflict. But if you plant peace, you will reap clarity. If you plant generosity, you will reap connection. What you plant in the morning through your intention shapes what grows by evening. And unlike chance, intention is something you control. You may not control every circumstance, but you control how you show up in it. That power belongs to you alone. There are people who wake up and immediately allow the world to define their mood. They let a rude message set their tone. They let a missed bus dictate their patience. They let a negative headline darken their outlook. But when you set your daily intention, you reclaim authority. You say, this day does not own me, I own it. This mood does not lead me, I lead it. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer stumble, you step. To set your daily intention, you must begin in silence. Take a moment before the rush begins. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, who do I want to be today? What spirit do I want to carry into each moment? What do I want to give to those I meet? What do I want to leave behind when this day ends? The answers are not always dramatic. Sometimes the intention is simple. Today, I will listen more than I speak. Today, I will not complain. Today, I will focus on solutions instead of problems. Today, I will be grateful. These small intentions, practiced daily, create a great transformation over time. Do not underestimate the power of a small intention. One single thread seems fragile, but when woven again and again, it becomes a rope strong enough to hold. In the same way, one small daily intention, repeated over and over, creates the fabric of your character. You do not become strong, patient, joyful, or kind overnight. You become those things by setting the intention each day, until it is no longer something you do. It is who you are. Life without intention feels accidental. You find yourself saying yes to what drains you, agreeing to what is not aligned with your spirit, chasing things that do not fulfill you. But when you rise with clear intention, you begin to say no to what is not for you, and yes to what brings you closer to your highest self. You stop scattering your energy in 100 directions and begin to focus it like light through a lens, powerful enough to ignite fire. Intention also transforms how you handle hardship. Challenges will come regardless of how carefully you plan. But when your day is grounded in intention, even storms cannot drown you. For example, if your intention is peace, then even when someone raises their voice, you choose not to match it. If your intention is courage, then even when fear knocks, you answer with boldness. If your intention is compassion, then even when you are wronged, you resist the urge to retaliate with cruelty. Intention steadies you. It becomes your anchor in the midst of shifting waves. And let us be clear, intention is not just for yourself, it is for those whose lives you touch. Every day, your spirit spills over into others. The patience you carry may soothe a stranger. The kindness you show may heal a wound you cannot see. The smile you give may be the only light someone receives that day. When you set your intention each morning, you are not just preparing for yourself, You are preparing to be a blessing to others. There is beauty in realizing that your intention does not need applause. It does not need to be noticed to be powerful. Often, the quietest intentions create the loudest ripples. The choice to be present at the dinner table instead of distracted. The choice to hold your tongue when gossip tempts you. The choice to write one encouraging message. These are seeds planted quietly, but they grow into forests of impact over time. So let each morning become your sacred meeting with yourself. Do not stumble into the day as though you are powerless. Do not walk into the hours waiting to see what will happen. Decide, declare. Set your daily intention and let it become the light that guides you. In doing so, you will find that life responds differently. Circumstances may not change, but you will. The world around you may remain chaotic, but within you, there will be order. And that inner order will be the strength that carries you not only through one day, but through a lifetime. Negativity is an uninvited guest that knocks on the door of your spirit every single day. It arrives in whispers and shouts, in headlines and gossip, in the sharp edge of someone's words or the heavy weight of your own doubts. And too often we swing the door wide open and let it stroll in as though we are powerless. But you are not powerless. You are the gatekeeper of your mind, the guardian of your spirit. And the greatest strength you can practice is to refuse negativity before it enters. Negativity is sneaky. It rarely announces itself as poison. It often disguises itself as concern, as realism, as advice, or as humor. It shows up in the voice that says, "You can't do that." It shows up in the friend who constantly finds flaws. It shows up in the endless scroll of bad news that feeds your anxiety. It shows up in the small thought that whispers, "You're not enough." These are seeds that, once planted, grow quickly. If you do not refuse them at the door, they will take root in your mind and choke out your peace. Think of your mind as a home. You would not allow a stranger dripping with mud to walk across your clean floors. You would not welcome a thief to sit at your table. Yet how many of us allow negativity to walk right in without question? We let it sit on the couch of our thoughts, eat at the table of our energy, and before long, it has made itself at home. Guarding against negativity is not about pretending the world is perfect. It is about protecting the sanctity of your inner space. You cannot always control who knocks on the door, but you can control who you allow in. Life will bring criticism. Life will bring rejection. Life will bring the voices of people who cannot see your vision. You cannot stop the knocks, but you can stand strong in the doorway and say, "Not today. You are not welcome here." That refusal is an act of power. It is the declaration that your peace is too precious to be stolen by anyone's bitterness, that your hope is too sacred to be drowned in doubt. Negativity, when unchecked, is contagious. It spreads quickly, passing from one person to the next like wildfire. Sit in the company of constant complainers, and soon you will find yourself complaining. Listen long enough to defeatist voices, and soon your own voice will echo the same. But positivity is also contagious. And when you refuse negativity before it enters, you are not only protecting yourself, you are protecting the atmosphere you bring to others. Your energy becomes lighter, your presence becomes healing, and you begin to shift environments simply by showing up with joy instead of despair. This refusal requires awareness. You must train yourself to recognize negativity quickly. Notice how your body feels when it shows up. Do you feel your shoulders tense when certain topics arise? Do you feel your heart sink when certain voices speak? These are signals that negativity is knocking. And once you recognize the signal, you must act immediately. Do not entertain it. Do not negotiate with it. Refuse it. Replace it with words of strength. Replace it with reminders of truth. Replace it with gratitude. Refusing negativity is also about guarding the first hour of your day. The morning is when your spirit is most open, most impressionable. If you fill it with arguments on social media, with angry headlines, with gossip, then you have invited negativity to rule your day before it has even begun. But if you fill it with gratitude, with affirmations, with silence, with intention, then you have closed the door on negativity and welcomed light instead. The way you begin sets the tone for everything that follows. Let us not mistake refusing negativity for ignoring reality. You are not pretending that challenges do not exist. You are not blind to pain or injustice. What you are doing is refusing to let them control your spirit. You are choosing to respond rather than react. You are choosing to face difficulties with strength instead of surrendering to despair. That is not denial, that is discipline. And discipline of the spirit is one of the greatest powers you can cultivate. You will find that many people are carriers of negativity without even realizing it. They pass it along in their words, their sighs, their endless recounting of what is wrong. And you may not always be able to remove yourself from these people, but you can refuse to receive what they are carrying. Their words do not have to enter you. Their moods do not have to become your mood. Imagine yourself as a house with locked doors. People may knock, they may even shout, but unless you open, they cannot come inside. This is why affirmations, gratitude, and self-talk are essential. They build a shield around your mind. When you regularly remind yourself of your worth, when you speak words of hope, when you rehearse gratitude for what you have, negativity has less space to land. It is like trying to plant weeds in a garden already full of flowers. The soil is occupied. Fill your mind so richly with positivity that there is no room for the weeds of doubt, fear, or bitterness to grow. When you refuse negativity before it enters, you protect not only your mood, but your future. Because every thought plants a seed, and those seeds grow into actions, and those actions shape your life. Negativity left unchecked leads to hesitation, hesitation leads to inaction, and inaction leads to wasted potential. But positivity fuels courage, courage fuels movement, and movement builds destiny. Refusing negativity today is not just about peace in the moment, it is about building the future you deserve. So let the knocks come. Let the world try to bring its heaviness, its gossip, its criticism. You do not have to answer. You do not have to let it in. You are the gatekeeper. You have the authority to protect your peace, to guard your joy, to secure your hope. And when you practice this daily, you will discover that your spirit grows stronger, your days grow brighter, and your life becomes a testimony to the power of refusing what does not serve you before it ever crosses the threshold of your heart. Every day you step out into the world, you carry something invisible with you. It is not in your hands or in your pocket, it is in your spirit. And whether you realize it or not, the energy you bring becomes part of the spaces you enter. Some carry heaviness, anger, bitterness, impatience, and you can feel it the moment they arrive. Others carry light, hope, warmth, kindness, and you can feel that too. To carry light into the world is not just a gift for others, it is a responsibility for yourself. Because the light you carry determines not only what others see, but how you see. The world has enough shadows. It has enough harsh words, enough fear, enough division. Everywhere you look, there are reasons to feel small or hopeless, but light is powerful because it doesn't need to fight with the darkness. It only needs to shine. A single candle in a pitch-black room changes everything, and so do you. When you carry light into your workplace, into your family, into your conversations, you shift the atmosphere without even trying. Darkness cannot argue with light. It must retreat. Carrying light is not about being perfect or pretending you have no struggles. It is about choosing, in spite of your struggles, to radiate hope. It is about deciding that your wounds will not make you bitter, but better. It is about using the pain you've survived as fuel to comfort others. It is about embodying kindness when it would be easier to be cold. The light you carry is not dependent on flawless circumstances. It is born from your decision to shine regardless of the storm. There are people you will meet today who are desperate for light, though they may never say it. They may hide it beneath a smile, behind busy schedules, or under sharp words. But inside, they are searching for a glimmer of hope, for a reminder that goodness still exists. When you carry light, you become that reminder. Your encouraging word might be the rope that keeps someone from giving up. Your patience might be the balm that heals someone's unseen wound. Your joy might be the spark that reignites someone else's courage. Carrying light does not always require grand gestures. Sometimes it is as simple as making eye contact and truly listening. Sometimes it is holding the door, sending the message, giving the compliment. Sometimes it is choosing not to add to the gossip or not to pass along the complaint. These small acts may feel insignificant to you, but to someone else, they are beams of light piercing through their fog. Light does not measure itself by size, it simply shines. The truth is, you cannot give what you do not have. To carry light, you must first nurture it within yourself. You cannot pour out hope if you are constantly drinking from despair. You cannot spread kindness if you are drowning in resentment. That is why your first responsibility each day is to tend to your inner flame. Protect your peace, speak life into yourself, and ground your spirit in gratitude. When your light is strong within, it will naturally radiate outward. You will not need to force it. You will simply walk into a room and your presence will shift the air. Understand this: carrying light is not always easy. The world will test it. People will provoke you. Situations will tempt you to dim it. Negativity will try to pull you into its orbit. But the very moments that challenge your light are the moments that prove its power. What good is a lamp if it only shines when the sun is up? Light shows its true strength in darkness. Your ability to stay patient when insulted, to stay calm when pressured, to stay hopeful when circumstances look grim, that is light. And that is what makes you unshakable. Light also attracts others. People are drawn to those who radiate it because it reminds them of what they long for. They may not always say it, but your light gives them permission to find their own. By carrying light, you are not just helping others see, you are showing them how to shine. Your courage becomes contagious, your joy becomes inspiring, your peace becomes magnetic. Without preaching a word, you become an example of what is possible. And let us be clear, carrying light does not mean ignoring your own needs or depleting yourself. A flame does not burn out by lighting another candle. It simply multiplies the light. In the same way, when you share encouragement, patience, or kindness, you do not lose it, you strengthen it. The more you give, the more it grows within you. This is the paradox of light. The more you share it, the brighter you become. Think about the legacy you want to leave. At the end of your life, people will not remember every detail of what you did, but they will remember how you made them feel. Did you bring heaviness or did you bring light? Did people leave your presence drained or did they leave uplifted? Carrying light is about living in such a way that when people think of you, they think of hope, of warmth, of goodness. That is a legacy no amount of wealth or fame can buy. So as you step into each day, remind yourself you have a choice. You can mirror the darkness you see, or you can reflect the light within you. You can contribute to the noise of despair, or you can bring the calm of peace. You can add to the weight of the world, or you can lighten it. And even if you feel your light is small, never forget that a single flame is enough to spark another and another until the room is full of fire. The world needs your light, not tomorrow, not when everything is perfect. Today, in your home, in your workplace, in the streets you walk, in the conversations you hold, carry it boldly, carry it humbly, carry it with the conviction that what you give to the world returns to you multiplied. And as you carry your light, you will not only brighten the path for others, you will find that your own steps become clearer, your own spirit becomes stronger, and your own life becomes a testament that light, once chosen, can never be overcome by darkness. So I say to you, when you awaken tomorrow, do not just wake up, rise up. Rise with gratitude, speak life into yourself, guard your morning, move your body, set your intention, refuse negativity, and carry light. Because your day is not just a routine, it is a canvas, and your spirit is the artist. Start your day positively, and you will discover that the world too begins to shine brighter simply because you chose to shine first.